Developing right now on Morning News Now, prayers for Pope Francis. This morning, the People's Pope now back with the people in St. Peter's Basilica. Earlier this morning, Pope Francis' coffin carried through St. Peter's Square in a solemn procession as an overflow crowd of thousands waits to pay their respects. We have team coverage from the Vatican. Also this morning, relief on Wall Street as administration officials hint that the trade war with China could be winding down. This as President Trump now insists he won't fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell over Powell's criticism of Trump's tariff troubles. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on the defensive over more sensitive information shared in a group chat.
What was shared over Signal then and now, however you characterize it, was informal, unclassified coordinations for media coordination.
Plus, more federal workers bracing for layoffs as Secretary of State Marco Rubio announces a massive overhaul of the State Department. We'll bring you the latest. And developing overnight, crews in New Jersey struggling to contain a fast-moving fire. It's already forced thousands of people to evacuate their homes. Plus, we are tracking severe weather as a spring storm takes aim at several states. And you could call it brain power, the eye-opening new research linking teens' mental sharpness with how much they sleep. Good morning. I'm Stephen Romo in for Joe and Savannah today, and we begin this morning in Vatican City. Prayers ringing out this morning as Pope Francis's casket was taken to St. Peter's Basilica for worshipers to pay their final respects. Catholic cardinals sang in the Litany of Saints, asking the saints to pray for the late Pope. The faithful gathered there, applauded, and wept as the Pope's casket made its way through the city. The mournful image is a stark contrast from just 3 days ago when the Pope made a surprise public appearance on Easter Sunday. Pope Francis' funeral is scheduled for Saturday. A start date for the conclave, where the next Pope will be chosen, has yet to be announced. And let's get to our team coverage for more on this morning's procession and what comes next for the Catholic Church. And we start with NBC News international correspondent Claudio Lavanga, who is live at the Vatican with more on this. Claudio, good morning to you. So these images out of Vatican City there are incredibly moving to see the type of impact the Pope has clearly made on so many lives. Walk us through the events of this procession we're seeing.
Hey, Stephen, yes, it was a very moving moment. A few hours ago, it started with a prayer inside the chapel of Casa Santa Marta. That is the residence inside Vatican City behind me, where the Pope decided to sleep, to reside from day one of his pontificate, essentially giving up the luxury of living inside the huge papal apartment in the Apostolic Palace. Then the coffin, with the open coffin, with the Pope's body was raised on a stretcher, and it was slowly taken into the Basilica through a very slow and moving procession led by cardinals and led by the Chamberlain of the Catholic Church, who's right now is the American Cardinal Kevin Farrell. Then he came into St. Peter, through Vatican City, into St. Peter's Square, and this is very symbolic, Stephen, because he came into St. Peter's Square from the what is called the Arch of the Bells, and that is where the Pope was last in St. Peter's Square. Was on Sunday on the Pope Mobile, and that's the arch through which the Pope Mobile brought the Pope back into Vatican City. And now, 3 days later, he came back into St. Peter's Square in an open casket. Then he just was taken through the 20,000 faithful who were in St. Peter's Square at that time. That was a very moving moment because there was 20,000 people, but everybody was silent. It was an eerie silence that was broken only by this round of applause, only when the casket was then taken inside St. Peter's Basilica from the central door. Then the coffin was placed in front of the altar of the confession. That is, was raised, that's on top of the place where Catholics believe St. Peter was buried, and then 2 hours ago, the doors of the Basilica were open to the many pilgrims who are already lining up to pay their last respects. Stephen.
Incredible to see, and incredible numbers turning out to see it. Claudio, you mentioned the open casket here and so much of the symbolism. Talk to us about the symbolism. You can see that there is a rosary in the Pope's hand.
Yeah, there is a rosary in the Pope's hand. Also, the Pope is dressed in bishop robes. He's dressed with a red vestment, and then he has a simple bishop mitre in his hands now, well, right next to him. And that's because the Pope is also, and first and foremost, the Bishop of Rome. And Pope Francis has always said that, I am the Bishop of Rome, and that's why he wanted to be dressed in his coffin. Also, the coffin is very important to mark what's different from now from previous Pope. The Pope Francis has decided he wanted to be placed in a very simple, zinc-lined cypress wood coffin, one of the simplest woods, in contrast with what happened in the past, where popes used to be put in 3 different coffins, one made of wood, of cypress, one made of metal, and the other one, and the third one, the outer one, made of more precious wood, like elm or oak. Well, this all goes in line with the Pope's nature, the Pope's humble nature, and that is why he was known as, and he will probably always be remembered as, the People's Pope, Stephen.
Such a great point, Claudio, about Pope Francis being the people's pope. So much of his work marked by that compassion for others, compassion for the poor and less fortunate. Now he's lying in state, being back among the people once more. What are you hearing from these people who have come to witness this historic event?
Well, Stephen, I just came back literally from down there from St. Peter's Square, and I'm telling you, there's already thousands of people. The place is packed. There's thousands of people already lining up, and it's only been 2 hours since the Basilica opened the door for them, and they're all lining up in this scorching sun. It's quite hot now here in Rome, some with their umbrellas to cover themselves from the sun, but they're all, you know, quietly and almost silently waiting for their opportunity to give their last, to bid their last farewells to the Pope. Stephen?
Moving scenes there from Vatican City. Claudio Lubanga, thank you so much. NBC News Vatican analyst Deborah Lubov is joining us now from the Vatican with more on this upcoming funeral. Deborah, good morning. Thanks for joining us. When you look at this morning's procession and the details that have come out about Pope Francis's funeral and even his coffin, how do they reflect the values of his papacy?
Well, certainly Pope Francis was a pope of simplicity, of humility, and we had seen that he had decided to take this decision to revise the liturgical document overseeing the funeral rite himself in order to simplify it so that it were not about a powerful person's death, but rather a disciple of Christ, and that it would draw images of someone who is very faithful to the idea of the resurrection of Christ. And how ironic that this would actually be happening the day after Easter, and his funeral happening on Saturday in this period of Easter time for the Catholic Church. So we know that the Holy Father's funeral will be in St. Peter's Square on Saturday morning, April 26th. And as Claudio had mentioned, the faithful have been pouring in, because even if some of us had the privilege to know Pope Francis, travel with him, everyone in one way or another, whether or not they've ever seen him, met him, or even been to Italy, or he's been to their country, they all kind of felt like they knew him because he was so familiar to them. He seemed like part of the family. So we will see the closing of the coffin on Friday evening, and the faithful will be able to continue paying homage this evening until midnight, tomorrow evening until midnight, and on Friday until 7 p.m. And then the closing of the coffin will be afterward, before Saturday morning's funeral.
Incredible, that humility continuing on even in death. Deborah, we also know that Pope Francis handpicked American Cardinal Kevin Farrell to lead the Vatican until another pope is chosen. What more can you tell us about him, and maybe why Pope Francis selected him?
Well, Cardinal Farrell is a very warm person. He had been the prefect of the Vatican department called the Dicastery for Laity, Family, and Life, so overseeing the department that thinks about families, thinks about young people. And interestingly enough, this weekend had been foreseen, but now is suspended, the canonization of who would have been the first millennial saint, Carlo Acutis. So there's actually many pilgrims who had come specifically for that event, because the Jubilee year continues even if a pope has passed away, even if the canonization, though, is clearly suspended. But the cardinal would have been clearly overjoyed about that happening this coming weekend, and he was a very close collaborator to Pope Francis. He what is important to note is that according to Vatican protocol and the official text, especially one called Universi Dominici Gregis, it's clear that no decisions can be made by any given individual in this period. So his power is limited, but it's the most important role that one could be holding at this time.
Yeah, very important role, and all eyes are on him during this time. Deborah Luboff, thanks so much for your insights this morning. And turning now to financial news, U.S. markets closed sharply higher Tuesday. That came in large part due to hopes that the trade tensions between the U.S. and China could be easing. Stocks spiked after Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said at a private investor summit that he expected a, quote, de-escalation with China in the very near future. That's according to a person in the room who told our colleagues at CNBC. And this morning, U.S. stock futures are pointing to a higher open after President Trump said late Tuesday that he's not planning to fire the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. Those comments are a reversal of those the president made on Monday, in which he called Powell a, quote, major loser. That's in addition to his comments last week, where he said Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. Here's what the president said yesterday.
I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates. This is a perfect time to lower interest rates. If he doesn't, is it the end? No, it's not, but it would be good timing.
Investopedia's editor-in-chief Caleb Silver joins us now to take a look at all of this. So, Caleb, in just the last 2 days, we've seen the president attack Fed Chair Jay Powell, and then now there's this reversal. Do you think this reversal gives investors the reassurance they need about the central bank's independence?
Not long term, but short term, you've seen a real reversal in the market direction. So markets closing much higher yesterday, up 2.5%. Looks like they're going to open much higher today as well. So a little recovery, but the back and forth and not knowing how the president actually feels about the Fed, that's very confusing for investors, as is the tariff policy. But because of the 1913 Federal Reserve Act, the president can't fire the Fed chair. Well, he can only fire the Fed chair or any government officials like that are independent for a cause. So it would have been a long legal battle to get from here to there. But the fact that he's being a little bit nicer and talking a little bit nicer about relations with China, that's definitely put some enthusiasm back in the stock market and also in the bond market.
The investors, I'm sure, will take all the reassurance they can get at this point. And more positive news on the markets, the comments by the Treasury Secretary signaling a potential de-escalation of that trade war with China. How should we view that?
Well, this was at a J.P. Morgan Chase conference in Washington, D.C. Closed doors, but there were reporters in the room saying it's not sustainable, this trade war, this ongoing trade war that we have with China, and that there will be a de-escalation in the near future. What does that mean? We don't know. But right now we're talking about 145% tariffs on Chinese goods in China, putting 125% retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. We're one of each other's biggest trading partners. But what has China done in the last few years? They have extended their trading partnerships around the world. So if you go to Africa, China very big there. And in South America, they don't need the U.S. as much as they used to. Plus, the U.S. Dollar here has been declining, as have Treasury bills, and we can't sustain that. Maybe that's the guardrail for this administration.
Yeah, and something else I wanted to ask you about came from Tesla yesterday. We had the first quarter earnings came out, and they were not good. We're going to talk more to Kelly O'Donnell about that in just a minute. But tell us, what has happened to the car maker, and where does this leave Elon Musk?
Yeah, well, he still owns 12.8% of the common stock, so he's still very much in charge. But they had a 20% drop in auto revenue, right? They had a 71% decline in net income. Obviously, people aren't buying as many. Plus, there's the headline backlash against Tesla, against Elon Musk, since he took over Doge and started the government cuts there. So there's been a lack of focus, I think, on the part of investors looking at the CEO of a company that had done so well for so many years. In the last year to date, that stock is down 41%.
No, those are eye-opening numbers. All right, Caleb Silver, thanks for breaking that down for us. Well, the White House continues to support Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth during another wave of criticism about sharing private sensitive information in a private group chat. And this morning, we're learning more about the nature that we're hearing about what he shared. Members of Hegseth's family were included in that private chat, including his brother, who works as an advisor to the defense secretary. NBC News has learned that the details shared in the chat originated from a top general's secure messages. That's according to 3 U.S. officials with direct knowledge of these exchanges. NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell joins us now with the latest on this. Kelly, good morning to you. So here we are again, Pete Hegseth denying that the information shared on Signal was classified information. He talked about that during the White House Easter egg event this week. What more are we learning?
Well, Hegseth has also been trying to do a little damage control, and he persists in saying this was not classified information and it was not war plans. He does say it was information based on trying to prepare for media appearances and things like that. It was, according to our sources, information in advance of military strikes that included sensitive military information that many who have experience in the Pentagon say would most certainly be classified. So Hegseth disputes that. What he also says is that this is a media issue. So he is deflecting about his own conduct, pointing to leaks and media coverage as a way of dealing with this issue. And Karoline Leavitt, the press secretary, has also dug in, supporting Hegseth, saying the president supports him, and also, again, saying that there are those who were in the Pentagon who were leaking this information. Again, not addressing the underlying conduct. Here's what Karoline Leavitt had to say.
It's been clear since day one from this administration that we are not going to tolerate individuals who leak to the mainstream media, particularly when it comes to sensitive information. And the Secretary of Defense is doing a tremendous job, and he is bringing monumental change to the Pentagon. Let me reiterate, the president stands strongly behind Secretary Hegseth in the change that he is bringing to the Pentagon and the results that he's achieved.
And so Hegseth has not provided any information about why his wife, who might be a trusted personal, confidant, as one would understand, there's no understanding of why she would have access to secure information. She does not hold a security clearance. His brother, who has been an advisor at the Pentagon, to our understanding, does not have a clearance either. So the real question is sharing this information prior to a military operation when U.S. forces would be most vulnerable. Why would that be done using a personal phone in a signal chat, which is encrypted, but certainly not secure to the standards of the Pentagon? Stephen?
Some important questions. Kelly, I also wanted to ask you about what's going on at the State Department. Secretary of State Marco Rubio unveiling this plan for some massive cuts, including layoffs. Do we know what is he targeting with these cuts?
Well, it is a sweeping reorganization of the State Department, and officials there say that a bloated bureaucracy is not in line with the president's America First agenda. Certainly, the State Department has a vital function to play all around the world, representing the United States, being a place where American citizens abroad can also get help and services. They're looking to cut about 100 different offices around the world, consolidating in some countries, and cutting about 15% of the staff. Now, the specific objectives of why they are doing that are still to sort of be sorted out. They've got a big plan for this. We know that they want to reduce the size of government, and they want to sort of sharpen the focus to align with President Trump's view of America First. But what kinds of changes that would mean in vulnerable places around the world, volatile places where the United States has interests, that will be seen over time. But this is considered a very significant shakeup of the State Department.
Yeah, a lot of questions on how that will shape up as well. Kelly, I want to follow up with you on something we were just talking with Caleb Silver about, and that is Elon Musk and Tesla. We heard yesterday that Tesla's stock really took a deep decline. The earnings report, not something that they wanted to see. Also hearing Musk say yesterday that he will spend less time working with the administration to dedicate more time to Tesla. What does this tell us about a possible shift in the power dynamics in the administration?
Well, certainly Musk has a fiduciary obligation to his shareholders at Tesla. His role in the government is quite different. He's a special government employee that has a limit of how many days, 130, that he can work in the federal government before he would have to go through all the disclosures and divestiture and those kinds of things. So that would put us at the end of May. Now, there may be some flexibility in shifting those days or perhaps coming back at another juncture, but we've always known his time was intended to have a cap based on that special government employee status. And he and the president have both talked about it being a period of time where there would be a transition and the Doge team that he set up would continue on. But it does suggest that he may not be the kind of ever-present figure that we've seen in the early days of the Trump administration, but the timing is still to be developed. Clearly, a big hit on the status of his company, one of his companies, may shape the timeline and his approach to this. And there's certainly been controversy around Musk all the way through. Stephen?
That is for certain. All right, Kelly O'Donnell, thank you so much. Well, a massive wildfire is ripping through parts of southern New Jersey this morning, torching thousands of acres. Flames from what's now being called the Jones wildfire forced evacuations in Ocean and Lacey townships, but now those evacuation orders have been lifted. As of late Tuesday, that fire had already scorched more than 8,000 acres, with firefighters working through the night to try to get that under control. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock joins us now from Lacey Township, New Jersey, with the latest. Sam, good morning to you. So what do we know about the fire status this morning, and what kind of progress are the crews being able to make?
Sure. So, Stephen, officially, we have not heard from the New Jersey Forest Fire Service since last night. That update that you mentioned, some 8,500 acres burned and 10% containment. But that was at about 10:30 last night. The latest information that we have for you, where I am in Lacey Township and also Ocean Township, which is about 30 or 40 minutes to our north, the evacuation orders were lifted in both of those locations. Officials did say, please use caution for residents if you're returning to your homes. But obviously, that's great news considering the fact that there were some 1,300 structures that were considered to be threatened, people that were evacuating all throughout this area and encountering, Stephen, log jams in the process. All of these highways were shut down, or at least large portions of them. That includes Route 9. I'm standing near, that's a local route that runs basically from New Jersey north to New York, also south to Delaware. The flames, I mean, you see the charred area behind me and the smoke over my shoulder. It reached all the way to the highway. So folks were very rattled, understandably, when these flames broke out. And just the sheer progression from 3,000 plus acres up to 8,000 plus in a matter of hours. That certainly scared folks. What we are seeing right now, though, is a return to normalcy. Everything has reopened so far, but that is not to say that there isn't still potentially a threat. There's an 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time press conference with the Forest Fire Service later today. So hopefully we get some of those critical tidbits about what's going on. But just for general context, behind me, this is a wildlife management area. The fire broke out there behind me. It's not exactly clear at this point what caused it. It's under investigation, but that spawned flames in many different directions. And there are homes, Stephen, lining that management area all throughout South New Jersey. So that's the situation as of yesterday afternoon through the evening. Today, right now, as you mentioned, those evacuation orders have been lifted.
Certainly hoping for continued improvement. That video looks like something that we've seen from the California wildfires. Just scary stuff. Sam Brock reporting for us from New Jersey. Sam, thank you. And we've got more on what firefighters are dealing with as they battle that wildfire, and info on storms headed for the south. It's our time for our morning news now weather with meteorologist Angie Lastman. Hey, Angie.
Hi there, Stephen. We've got, of course, many things to talk about when it comes to our springtime forecast. Busy time of year for us, but here's what we're going to start with. That New Jersey wildfire you just heard Sam talking about, the Jones Road fire, still 8,500 acres that we haven't got an update on that just yet, and 10% contained. But as far as the forecast is concerned, yesterday we were dealing with windy conditions, dry conditions. Of course, we've been dealing with drought conditions across this region, and temperatures running 5 to even 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. At the current moment, relative humidity levels checking in around 57%, so just below 60%. And we're dealing with winds fairly light out of the north, around 6 miles per hour. And that's kind of where we stand when it comes to the winds here as the rest of the day goes on. That's, of course, good news. The lower the winds, the better it is for firefighters that are out there battling. The only concern we have is that we do see that relative humidity level continuing to drop with those winds out of the north. Always easier for our humidity levels to decrease. And we're still, of course, in need of a little bit of water across that region. So we're going to continue to monitor that, just as Sam said, through at least the next day or so, and see if we can get some improvements there. Big picture look, your satellite and radar, quiet for the southwest. We've got quiet skies across the northeast and most of the southeast, but a couple of these thunderstorms happening for the Midwest and specifically across parts of the southern plains. That's where we're really going to pinpoint for the potential for some strong to even severe storms here as the day goes on. You can see where that light shaded yellow is. It goes from southern Kansas all the way down to southern Texas, including a sliver of New Mexico and, of course, Oklahoma. Amarillo, Lubbock, those are the two spots that really the major cities in that region that have the better potential to see some of these stronger storms developing. Timing, late day, early evening, so those will really get going with the heating of the day. And on top of that, we could see maybe some of these supercells bringing us some large hail, those strong winds, same kind of setup as what we saw yesterday. Tomorrow, a little bit less of a threat, but we still aren't at zero. So we're still going to have the chance to see some of those stronger storms firing up along that dry line. And that means that more of these thunderstorms, and on top of that, Stephen, unfortunately, more rain, potential for some flash flooding across the midsection of the country, specifically the Central Plains, through the next couple of days.
Definitely something to watch. I'm going to steal your method of ending on something positive. The weather in New York City yesterday.
You like that?
Incredible.
Guess what? Again today.
I love it,
I'm really delivering this week.
You are doing it. And I'm usually complaining, so I'm going to give you props when props are deserved. There you go. Angie Lastman, thank you.
You got it.
Much more to come here on Morning News Now. Later this hour, bad influence. A growing number of teens saying social media is negatively affecting their lives. We'll break down that report released exclusively to NBC News. But up first, after the break, a major setback in ceasefire talks to end the war in Ukraine. Why Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he'll be sitting out some of these discussions. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This morning, there's been a major snag in the latest push for peace between Russia and Ukraine. High-level talks were set to happen today in London with officials from the UK, the US, and Europe. But they collapsed early this morning. The negotiations fell apart when Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff bowed out. That came after Ukrainian officials objected to a key U.S. proposal. And it comes just a day after Russian President Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky had signaled they were open to discussing a ceasefire. Both sides are facing increasing pressure from President Trump, who promised to end this conflict on day one of his presidency, which was 93 days ago. NBC News reporter Matt Bodner joins us now from London with more on this. So, Matt, the State Department says that Secretary Rubio could not attend these talks due to scheduling conflicts. But what's been happening behind the scenes that could help explain all this?
Thank you, Stephen. What we've been hearing from the various parties certainly suggests that there may be some sort of significant disagreement in the background or some sort of meaningful impasse that did lead to Rubio and also Steve Witkoff to skip this meeting. Now, actually, the most recent development that we have comes from J.D. Vance, who is speaking to reporters on his trip in India. The vice president said the United States has presented a, quote, very specific proposal to both Ukraine and Russia on a peace deal, and said that it's time now for Kyiv and Moscow to, quote, either say yes or for the United States to walk away from this process. Now, it's still not clear what specifically this U.S. proposal entails, but Vance said that both sides would have to give up some of the territory that they currently control, and that the final lines drawn here might look different in places from the current lines on the battlefield. He did emphasize that what's required now from the U.S. perspective is a freeze in the fighting, and according to Sky News, actually, some of the details of that proposal include a recognition of Crimea, which was illegally annexed by Russia, of course, in 2014, as Russian territory, but also a lifting of European sanctions. And we understand that this is something that was rejected by both sides. President Zelensky himself reiterating something that we've heard from Ukrainians throughout the entire war, and that is that Crimea is not on the table. It's not even something the Ukrainian government can offer in negotiations. They are bound by the Ukrainian constitution, and they cannot recognize that as Russian territory. So it is unclear at this time where specifically things stand in these negotiations, and if the apparent disintegration of today's meeting really paints a bad picture for the broader negotiation effort.
Yeah, a major setback here. And Secretary Rubio, of course, won't be there, but the discussions, they're still going to happen. Do we know what the new objective is for them?
Sure. Well, obviously, the Ukrainian delegation is here in town, so there's every reason to continue at least some meetings on the European level. But I think the fact of the matter is that the situation as it stands currently, everyone involved in this process, Russia, Ukraine, the Europeans, they're all playing to an audience of one right now. That is Donald Trump. And so everyone's trying to demonstrate that they're still meaningfully engaged in a peace process. They are trying to get there and really, you know, assuming that we don't get to a peace settlement with the United States facilitating, the Ukrainians and the Europeans need to discuss things like what might a ceasefire look like, how would such a thing be monitored, and what actually will they do if the United States pulls out of this process entirely, what that might look like. But really, I think the main effort right now, all things being equal, is an attempt at all costs to keep Donald Trump engaged, and from the European and Ukrainian perspective, keep him on side.
And Matt, you mentioned the vice president traveling in India, spoke a bit about this, saying that doubling down really on the Trump administration's rhetoric that they are ready to walk away if progress is not made. He also talked about how this could look when he sees the war ending, some of what you spoke about just a moment ago. We have some sound. Let's listen to that.
The current line, somewhere close to them, is where you're ultimately, I think, going to draw the new lines in the conflict. Now, of course, that means the Ukrainians and the Russians are both going to have to give up some of the territory they currently own. There's going to have to be some territorial swaps. So I wouldn't say the exact lines, but we want the killing to stop.
So since President Trump took office, we've heard so much about trying to end this and the minerals deal that they would like to get with Ukraine. Are they ready to walk away from that as well?
Well, it's a great question, Stephen. There's a lot of lack of clarity over what specifically the disagreements are at the moment. You know, we keep hearing this back and forth between the United States and Ukraine on this mineral deal. It's, of course, grown in scope from what we've heard. But there's also, I think, really one of the core issues probably holding this up is the issue of what the territorial concessions will look like by both sides.
All right. Definitely more to pay attention to. Matt Bodner, thanks so much. Well, this morning, we're taking a closer look at new scientific research into the critical role that whales play in defending our planet against fossil fuels. As the amount of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere rises at record paces, trees, plants, and tiny plankton in the ocean all convert that CO2 into the oxygen we need to breathe. But scientists say all that plant life can't keep up with the ongoing pollution from now 150 years of burning coal, oil, and gas. NBC News national climate reporter Chase Kane traveled to Antarctica to look at how the whales and their microscopic friends help maintain this critical balance. And Chase joins me now. This is just fascinating stuff, Chase. What an adventure that it seems like you got to go on. What are these scientists focused on?
Well, they're focused on tiny little changes in the whales' health and how large they're getting, how quickly they're growing, because Antarctica is essentially their feeding grounds. They give birth to these calves, and then they kind of help the calves grow up, and then once they reach a certain age, they have a lot of food, and then they start migrating. Whales migrate huge distances around the world, and what they are finding is that even in this amazing remote protected place, that whales there are feeling the impacts of what humans are doing to the planet. I could try to describe what it's like to be surrounded by humpback whales in Antarctica, or hearing their underwater calls. But my face says it all. But this is not a whale watching cruise. These scientists from the California Ocean Alliance are here to study mammals which have been on Earth millions of years before humans, with a very important job.
Whales are almost like our ocean engineers. What the whales do is they actually excrete, as we all do, as all animals do. Whales defecate at the surface of the ocean with these essential nutrients that phytoplankton need to photosynthesize. All of this is relevant in terms of carbon sequestration and mitigating climate change.
NOAA research shows ocean phytoplankton pull as much carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere as 4 Amazon rainforests, largely thanks to whales. Despite that, global CO2 levels continue soaring because of pollution from coal, oil, and gas. So what happens when that becomes too much? Well, that's part of this research. Chloe and Lauren use their drone to measure the whale's overall health before it dives for food.
They're on their way to identify another whale. Because they have approval and permits to conduct this kind of research with whales in Antarctica, they can get much closer. But we have to stay back and keep our distance, especially when they're collecting a biopsy from the whales.
Their crossbow is specially designed to collect a small biopsy with minimal impact.
So this part goes into the whale, and this part stops it and allows the dart to float, and I just grab it out of the water. So the black part is the skin, and the pink part is the blubber.
Back on board the ship, they analyze the biopsies to understand the full weight of climate change on whales' health. Everything from rapidly melting sea ice to dwindling populations of krill, their food.
Basically, if the planet continues to warm and we get less sea ice, krill abundance is going to drop, going to affect their ability to support ecosystems in other parts of the world because of how much they migrate.
NOAA research shows it would take an average tree more than 1,500 years to sequester the amount of carbon dioxide a whale can in a single year. Even after their long lives, whales' benefit to our planet continues for centuries.
Most whales will die at sea. Their bodies will sink to the bottom of the ocean. We refer to that as a whale fall. And so that is huge amounts of carbon that is then sequestered to the deep ocean, and it becomes almost an oasis for life on the seafloor.
It is all very interconnected. I just know it behooves us to make the oceans a more hospitable place for whales because of all that they do.
Wow, Chase, that is incredible information, but also just so beautiful to watch.
A trip of a lifetime, Steve,
I can't imagine. That's incredible. Well, what's one of the major findings about these whales versus whales in other parts of the world?
I mean, this is the part of the world where these whales have the least interaction with humans. There's no shipping traffic. There's not just a lot of people there, right? Antarctica is a hard place to get to. But they're finding small changes in cortisol, the stress hormone, that these whales are starting to be a little bit more and more stressed, not just because of increasing tourism into Antarctica, but also because of everything that they're experiencing around the world, more shipping traffic, more pollution, just a lot more threats to whales. And of course, as you see in that story there, you know, whales are critical in this entire cycle that ultimately creates half of the oxygen we breathe. So if we lose whales, you know, this is going to have cascading effects for the planet.
It's all connected. Cortisol. Wow, we are stressing out the whales.
Yeah, I mean, they're mammals just like us, so they respond to stress in the same way. They have cortisol, and these scientists are finding increasing levels of cortisol.
Such important information. All right, Chase Kane, thank you so much.
Of course.
Well, coming up, a microplastic problem. Researchers sounding the alarm on the impact of microplastics on your health. More from a new study and what doctors want you to know. Your weekly checkup is next on Morning News Now. Back now with our weekly medical checkup. This morning, we're diving into why more people are using so-called magic mushrooms, plus why sleep really is so important for kids. NBC News medical contributor Dr. Kavita Patel joins me now to discuss these headlines. And we'll get to all these topics in just a moment. But I want to talk about this first study that really looks at microplastics and how they can contribute to plaque building up inside our bodies. What should we know about this?
Yes, Stephen. So microplastics, and that's something that you can see. Think like either plastics you can't see with your visual eye, just at the naked eye, or something that's even smaller than like the tip of a pencil eraser. So these are tiny in a lot of our substances. And they looked at over 50 people with plaque in their arteries, so people who are precursors to stroke, and they found that inside of that plaque, they actually had these micronanoplastics. So it just kind of builds up over time. We've been consuming them, and it could potentially accelerate the role of plaque. So not a good thing.
No, not at all. Don't like to hear that. This next story is pretty interesting. Psilocybin use is going up, so-called magic mushrooms, since it's been decriminalized in a couple of states now. But with the increased use, it might be good to pay attention to the potential risks here. What should we know?
Right. So psilocybin is a naturally occurring hallucinogen in over 200 species of mushrooms. People talk about them conventionally, magic shrooms, mushrooms, et cetera. This has been legal in, as you mentioned, 2 states. So this is a study that looked basically since legalization in Oregon and Colorado, kind of what the use and the pattern has been. 1 in 100 adults using them. So you have to be over 21 to purchase them. You have to seek out a licensed practitioner, but there is a risk of too much. Not necessarily physically addictive, but a lot of potential for psycho-addiction, which is why it's still federally illegal. So anybody who's thinking about using these, try to seek out a licensed professional and really read the labels closely.
I know there have also been a lot of studies looking at potential medical uses for it. So some more exciting stuff there. This last study, it seems like intuitively true just how important sleep is for young people. Researchers finding that adolescents need more sleep, and when they have that more sleep, it improves their mental acuity.
Right.
What should we know about this? I feel like my parents were yelling at me about this my whole life.
They were, and they probably still are. How many hours? How many hours did you get last night?
I think about 5, yeah.
Exactly. Well, so this looked at over 3,200 adolescents aged 11 to 12 years. They put Fitbits on them, and then they actually matched it with cognitive testing, brain scans. So this is pretty thorough, pretty comprehensive. And what they found is that basically even 5 minutes of extra sleep can make such a difference in your cognitive abilities, in your ability to perform in school, and just in general with your overall well-being. So this is something pretty stunning, because even I, as a mom of a 10-year-old, I've never kind of understood that just that little amount can make a big difference. So that's the take-home here, is try to limit screens, get into that better pattern of sleeping early, and try to get a good night's rest. So aim for at least 7 hours, because that's what the study showed.
7 hours? That's hard to do. 5 minutes, though, makes a difference. So
that's amazing.
When I set my alarm at some strange time, like 3:17 a.m.,
it could actually...
That actually is helpful.
Or maybe we don't need to be waking up at 3:17.
Well, yeah.
That's a whole other...
You got to do what you got to do.
Yes, that's right.
Dr. Kavita Patel, thanks so much. We appreciate it. All right, now to a closer look at an exclusive report from the Pew Research Center focused on the mental health effects of social media on teenagers. That report, which was released yesterday, revealed that nearly half of teens say social media has a negative effect on their lives. That is a big jump from just 3 years ago. Our very own Savannah Sellers spoke to a few teenagers about their personal experiences.
Everyone's always so worried about the next Instagram post and what this influencer's doing. Everything would be much simpler without social media.
In a survey released, Pew Research Center finds nearly half of teenagers say that social media has a mostly negative effect on their peers. That's a big jump in just 3 years, from 32 to 48%.
If you had to pick, in your life, would you say social media is more positive or more negative?
I think more positive.
More negative.
It for me, more negative.
I think more negative as well.
That's a lot. That's powerful.
Teens we spoke to say that negative impact comes in a few forms, like the unrealistic expectations set by influencers, something especially difficult for young girls, with 1 in 4 saying it hurts their mental health and 1 in 5 their confidence.
I feel like I've witnessed firsthand like the negative effects on like teen girls, like with body image issues. I feel like that's really culminated because of the growing presence of like influencers posting like this new workout routine or like these new clothes.
There's also the feedback or lack of it from followers.
When you get a lot of likes and comments, it makes you feel good about yourself. But let's say you post something and it kind of flops, like you get like not a lot of likes or not a lot of comments. Kind of makes you feel like, should I take it down? Like, it kind of makes you feel like questioning yourself almost.
That's definitely happened to me when I would post something and I realized I wouldn't get a lot of likes or comments. I would just like take it down because it would be a little embarrassing for myself.
When you talk about comments, do the positive ones hit you the most or do the negative ones?
Definitely negative. Because like of what people say.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like one like angry, like mean comic, it's just like a lot louder than a lot of nice ones.
Monica Anderson co-authored the study, which polled over 1,300 teens and parents nationwide.
More teens today than even 2 years ago say that they spend too much time on these platforms.
That fatigue number is up to 45%. Similarly, 4 in 10 teens say it also negatively impacts their sleep and overall productivity.
Does it feel like a lot of your life ultimately ends up revolving around social media, whether you mean it to or not?
I think a big portion of it, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Is it something you're aware of, or is it tough to recognize in the moment?
Sometimes it's hard to recognize because of how long I've been on the app. It's controlling my mind because of how much I've been like always on social media.
Savannah Sellers, NBC News.
Important coverage, Savannah, thanks. Well, coming up, some call it a very expensive piece of paper, but is getting that diploma really worth it? More and more college grads are saying, no, not really. We'll look at why that is and what some wish they would have done instead. This is Morning News Now. We're back now with a new survey that asks a question a lot of young people are thinking about. Is it worth it to get a degree? Employment site Indeed found that 51%, just more than half of college graduates from Gen Z, now say it wasn't worth it as the cost of higher education continues to rise. Some say they're worried about finding a job, and some of those who do have one don't feel like they're using the skills that they actually learned about. For some perspective on this, let's bring in Priya Rathod. She's Indeed's career trend expert, joining us now. Fascinating stuff here, Priya. Thanks so much for joining us. So as we mentioned, your survey found that 51% of Gen Zers, at least with an associate's degree, feel like higher education was not worth it. Do we know why they feel that way and why older graduates are less likely to agree with them?
Well, I think they're feeling that way because if you're looking at the jobs out there and the job descriptions out there, a lot of employers are moving towards what we call skills-based hiring. So looking at what skills and life experience you have versus what's on your degree. So I think that they're realizing that these skills are something they have to continue to update themselves on. And it's not necessarily worth going into debt to get a job. They can probably get a job without their degree.
It's a change to the conventional wisdom we've heard for generations. Also interested in your report, you quote an expert calling for what some would call a return to like more of a classical education where universities are focusing more on critical thinking than these specific skills. It is the exact opposite of what I heard when I was going into college, that you want to get a very specific focus instead of something broad and general. Talk to us more about what that expert was talking about.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is that, look, like with the emergence of AI, we're seeing that instead of teaching specific skills about AI when you are in college, they want you to teach broad-based learning. And so what we're seeing is that AI is definitely shaking up the relevance of traditional degrees. In fact, 30% of graduates feel that AI has made their degrees irrelevant, with Gen Z feeling this most strongly at 45%. And so essentially what we're saying is, instead of teaching skills such as Copilot or Gemini or ChatGPT, let's teach the overall concept of things like AI so that graduates can graduate from college with a wider skill set and understanding of how to implement their education in the real world.
That is fascinating. And a lot of people are still going to go to college despite this, despite going into debt.
Yes.
They just want the good jobs, which we keep hearing is what you need. So if you are an incoming first-year student, you're signing up for classes, trying to choose a major, all of that, what can they do to try to get the best return on this massive financial investment?
So I think besides your education, one of the best things that you can get from higher education is the ability to network and get opportunities in and outside your university. And so you've heard this throughout your career, networking is going to become a big part of how you get your jobs. So make sure you're networking within your university, with outside your university, whatever connections your university might have. You have to have the system work for you. And so networking would be a key thing. And then again, taking relevant classes and being willing to enhance your skill set outside your university as well. So understanding that, yes, pick the classes that make sense to you, but also understand what other skills you might need when you go out into the real world after you graduate.
Some important advice. Priya Rathod, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, coming up, catching flights and feelings. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the man affectionately known as Dr. Piano, who's bringing music back to one of America's busiest airports. This is Morning News Now. Finally, this hour, a really cool one for you. An unlikely social media star who brought his music back to one of America's busiest airports through his love of restoring pianos. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa has the story.
At Chicago's O'Hare International Airport.
Boarding group 2 at this time.
Most just want to cut through the crowds and board their flights. But sometimes you have to stop and hear the music. Josiah Jackson's talent for tickling the ivories, rivaled by his knack for restoring them. Known online as the Piano Doctor.
It still isn't setting in.
Viral fame foreign to the Michigan 21-year-old.
This is on NBC.
You don't
That's
need to
crazy.
use the air quotes. It actually is.
Yeah, this is on NBC.
Yeah.
It's hard to realize how far it's come.
Jackson's track started with piano lessons at 4 and nearly derailed performing in high school.
I realized I get stage fright bad, like really bad. Just finally realized I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So I thought, what's a job I can do around pianos? And I found piano tuning.
Videos of his work took off, namely the story of this piano by a busy O'Hare bar.
Someone, or more like 20 people, must have spilt their drink onto the keys.
The doctor repaired it for free, bringing back the medicine of music.
It gets people off their phones. You can turn over to a stranger and laugh and smile and say, oh, that was so cool. It's the bringing people together. I think that's the important part.
Maggie Vespa, NBC News, Chicago.
I love that, NBC News. That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now, but your news continues right now. Good morning, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Stephen Romo. Joe and Savannah are on assignment. And right now on Morning News Now, the long goodbye. Thousands of the world's Catholics coming together at the Vatican this morning, all waiting to pay their final respects to the man dubbed the People's Pope. Just hours ago, Pope Francis's coffin carried through St. Peter's Square in a solemn and moving procession. What we're now learning about the Pope's final hours as cardinals prepare to choose his successor. Also this morning, the growing fallout in Washington over another group chat snafu with Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth back in the crosshairs. How President Trump is reacting to the latest controversy surrounding the former Fox News host. Plus, what parents should know this morning about an alarming rise in whooping cough cases nationwide. This comes as health experts grapple with the explosive spread of measles in dozens of states. More on the race to vaccinate in just a moment. And later in the hour, the tennis royalty who's shaking up the world of sports, trading his storied racket for a paddle in his pro pickleball debut right here in America. But we begin this morning with worshipers gathering in Vatican City this morning to pay their final respects to Pope Francis. His casket was carried to St. Peter's Basilica earlier today in a moving procession. Church bells tolled as dozens of Catholic cardinals from around the world prayed for the Pope, escorting his coffin through the streets. Tens of thousands of people are showing up to say their goodbyes. Vatican authorities even temporarily stopping the public from entering St. Peter's Square earlier over fears of overcrowding. NBC News senior national correspondent and top story anchor Tom Yamas has more on this and the future of the Catholic Church.
The lines here at St. Peter's Square stretch through Vatican City into Rome. People waiting for hours to say goodbye to Pope Francis. Inside those crowds, it's a sea of humanity. Rows and rows of Catholics hoping to get inside to St. Peter's Basilica just to say goodbye. And we're now learning from the Vatican that the sealing of the coffin will take place Friday night, 8 p.m. local, 2 p.m. Eastern. This is one of the rituals where the Camerlengo, the American Cardinal Kevin Farrell, will close the coffin. It's the last step just before burial.
This morning at St. Peter's Basilica, the faithful lining up to say goodbye. At the center, facing the pews, the coffin carrying Pope Francis. The late pontiff requesting it not be elevated so he could be on the same level with the people he served.
I think the Pope made an impact on the world, and I think his message of peace and tolerance is one that we could all subscribe to.
The long goodbye started early this morning.
In nomine Patris.
American Cardinal Kevin Farrell, known as the Camerlengo, presiding over a moment of prayer inside the chapel of the Santa Marta papal residence. Cardinals filling the rows, some praying for the late Pope as they prepare to choose his successor. Then the procession to the Vatican. Crowds gathered in St. Peter's Square. The public will get 3 days to pay their respects to Pope Francis. So many waiting for that chance.
How long are you guys going to wait?
Until I have to.
As long as it takes. Yeah?
We're believers. We're believers.
The funeral and mass will take place Saturday morning and will be attended by heads of state from around the world, including President Trump and President Zelensky. Prince William will also be there representing the British royal family. And the Vatican now releasing new details about the Pope's final hours. Among his last words, "Thank you for bringing me back to the square." A heartfelt gratitude to his personal healthcare assistant for encouraging him to take one last ride in the Pope-mobile on Easter Sunday. After that last appearance, he rested, had a quiet dinner, but awoke not feeling well before falling into a coma. The Vatican saying that according to those who were with the Pope in his final moments, he did not suffer.
And when you speak to all the Catholics that are waiting in line here, they know they'll wait for hours just to get a few seconds with Pope Francis, but they want to say one last prayer to him, and they're also curious about who will lead the Pope in the future.
All right, Tom Yamas reporting there. Tom, thank you. Now to Washington. President Trump is still standing by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth after it was revealed he again shared sensitive information on the app Signal. NBC News has learned that that chat included Hegseth's wife and his brother, who works as an advisor, and that the information came from a top general's secure messages. This is according to 3 U.S. officials with direct knowledge of these exchanges. NBC News senior White House correspondent Garrett Haake joins us now from Washington with the latest on this one. Garrett, good morning.
Hey, Stephen, good morning. Yeah, Hegseth has insisted that this second Signal group chat was not used to discuss anything classified or even militarily sensitive. And he's blaming the news reports that contradict him on recently fired advisors who he claims are trying to damage him and President Trump. But this morning, there are new details about the information in that chat that are emerging, along with new criticism of Hegseth's leadership. This morning, President Trump standing by his embattled Secretary of Defense. Pete Hegseth personally downplaying the posts he made to a Signal group chat ahead of American airstrikes in Yemen last month.
I look at war plans every single day. What was shared over Signal, then and now, however you characterize it, was informal, unclassified coordinations for media coordination and other things.
But 3 U.S. officials with direct knowledge of the text exchanges say that, in fact, shortly before U.S. fighter jets took off to launch strikes against Iranian-backed rebels in Yemen, Hegseth took information passed up through secure channels from the head of U.S. Central Command, General Eric Kurilla, including about when the aircraft would take off and hit their targets, and sent it from his personal phone to 2 Signal group chats, the sources say, including one first disclosed this week by the New York Times, which included his wife, his brother, and his personal lawyer, the latter 2 Pentagon employees. John Bolton, who served as national security advisor in the first Trump White House, calling Hegseth a, quote, lightweight, adding he doesn't think he's long for the job.
Leads me to wonder what he's doing on the job on a minute-to-minute, hour-by-hour basis, that he's got time to knock out Signal messages to friends and family, which is what this group is.
The White House insisting President Trump has no plans to fire Hegseth.
The president stands strongly behind Secretary Hegseth in the change that he is bringing to the Pentagon.
It comes as Hegseth is also dealing with the fallout from a leadership purge at the top of the Pentagon, with 3 senior officials fired last week, a former top spokesman departing, and his chief of staff reassigned. Hegseth blaming the fired officials for damaging leaks and negative news stories about his leadership.
I don't have time for leakers. I don't have time for the hoax press that peddles old stories from disgruntled employees.
Now, so far, a host of congressional Democrats have publicly demanded Hegseth should resign or be fired from his post. But now, 3 days since the first story on this broke, just one Republican has even suggested it. Nebraska Representative and retired General Don Bacon. The president and congressional GOP still very much behind the Secretary of Defense. Stephen?
Deja vu all over again. Garrett Haake, thank you. Well, turning to the economy now. U.S. stocks are expected to open higher this morning after President Trump said late Tuesday that he has no intention of trying to fire Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Markets also rebounded yesterday after signs trade tensions with China could be easing. All this as billionaire Elon Musk says he'll soon start cutting back his work with the Trump administration and dedicating more time to his company Tesla, which comes after the car maker reported a huge drop in first quarter revenue. NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung joins us now with more on all of this. Brian, good morning.
Yeah, it was an ugly quarter for Tesla. But again, there's a lot of tariff headlines as well as with the Federal Reserve Chairman, the president, basically doing a 180 when it comes to his stance on tariffs with China, saying that he could de-escalate perhaps his tariff war with the second largest economy in the world, and also saying that he no longer intends to fire Fed Chairman Jay Powell. This coming as one of his top senior advisors, Elon Musk, says he might be departing government very soon.
This morning, some relief. After dramatic plunges amid President Trump's trade war, the market's bouncing back Tuesday.
Every sector closing firmly in the green.
As the administration signaled it may dial down the tension with China, the president saying the massive 145% tariff may be lowered.
It'll come down substantially, but it won't be zero.
And the Treasury Secretary telling investors there will be a de-escalation. Trump also reassuring Wall Street by saying he has no intention of firing Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. But uncertainty has ruled the markets over the past few weeks as investors wonder what's next in the trade war. And companies have been impacted, including Elon Musk's Tesla, which said in its earnings report the tariffs adversely impacted supply chain. Tesla saying its net income dropped 71% compared to last year, as Musk says he's turning his attention back after 3 months of leading the Department of Government Efficiency.
Starting next month, I'll be allocating
far more of my time to Tesla.
The company is saying demand for its cars may have been weakened by, quote, changing political sentiment. In recent weeks, there have been dozens of protests nationwide targeting Tesla for its association with Musk. The company's vehicles, dealerships, and charging facilities also targeted by vandals. President Trump even trying to rally enthusiasm for Musk's cars at the White House.
Tesla's a great company. I don't like what's happening.
After spending more than $250 million to help Mr. Trump's re-election efforts, Musk joined the administration as the head of the newly created DOGE, aggressively cutting federal spending as well as the federal workforce, but quickly drawing criticism for dismantling government services. Musk saying he'll still help out DOGE part-time, even as he reprioritizes Tesla.
I think I'll continue to spend, a day or two per week on government matters for as long as the president would like me to do so.
Musk says that he can step back now that the major work with DOGE is done, in his words. But it's worth noting, Stephen, that it's likely that Musk was going to stick around the Trump administration forever. He was, after all, designated by the White House as a special government employee. That comes with an expiry date of 130 days. But I should point out here, Tesla stock is down over 40% since the new year.
Wow, eye-popping numbers there. Brian, thank you. Well, now to the alarming rise of whooping cough cases nationwide. Experts are urging parents to vaccinate their kids as the number of cases continues to spread fast. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz is following this story and joins us now with the latest concerning stuff here. Liz.
Hey, Stephen. Yeah, it is. Good morning. As vaccination rates drop, it's not only cases of measles now that are jumping, but whooping cough, too. The infection can cause severe coughing fits that last for weeks, leading in some cases to hospitalization and even death.
This morning, medical experts raising the alarm about a concerning spike in whooping cough cases. The bacterial infection quickly spreading nationwide, with the CDC already reporting more than 8,000 cases this year, more than double the amount reported by this same time last year.
Very alarmed. These are preventable diseases.
Whooping cough, caused by a bacteria called pertussis, is highly contagious and spreads through the air when someone with the illness coughs or sneezes. Symptoms start similar to a cold or flu, but then can develop into something much worse, with babies and young children most at risk. Over the last 6 months, 2 infants in Louisiana died after contracting whooping cough. One of the epicenters of the outbreak, Michigan, where cases have increased 1,800% within a year with no signs of slowing down. 13-year-old Joe Moore contracted the infection last month, telling NBC News it led to uncontrollable coughing fits, one of the hallmark symptoms of the illness.
It's usually a very rapid succession of coughs that seem almost continuous, and then a gasp to get a deep breath of air in that sounds like a whoop because it's so hard to get breath in.
Meanwhile, measles also continuing to spread, with 800 cases now reported in at least 25 states. Experts say both illnesses, once thought to be nearly eliminated in the U.S., are once again on the rise due to declining vaccination rates nationwide.
I do think we're going to start seeing some of these, like almost Charles Dickens kind of like illnesses that we didn't think we would see anymore in the modern era. And unfortunately, a lot of it is due to kind of myths or misinformation about vaccines.
Now, some parents on edge in communities where cases have been reported.
Go get your kids vaccinated because the whooping cough is very, very serious and can lead to death, unfortunately.
Now, while the mortality rate for whooping cough is low, the infection can often lead to other life-threatening complications like pneumonia. Doctors say the best way to prevent it is to get vaccinated. If you had the vaccine as a child, you're considered protected. But the CDC recommends all pregnant women get the shot again in their 3rd trimester to create antibodies that then pass on to their baby. Stephen?
Important info. Liz Kreutz, thank you. To New Jersey now, fire crews are racing to contain a fast-moving wildfire that's already scorched thousands of acres. The Jones wildfire has burned more than 8,000 acres. It's also threatened homes, knocked out power, and even shut down a stretch of the Garden State Parkway. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock is on the ground in Lacey Township with what firefighters are up against. Sam, good morning.
Yeah, Stephen, good morning. Look, significant developments so far, the biggest of which is that the evacuation orders have been lifted both in Lacey Township, where I am, and Ocean Township as well. That's roughly 3,000 people. Last night, Stephen, this was a logjam with people waiting for hours on the local highways that have been shut down trying to get out. Now, they have since been reopened, but this morning, the lieutenant governor for New Jersey stating a state of emergency for Ocean County and that there's been no loss of life, thankfully, and so far, no homes harmed. This morning, southern New Jersey in a major firefight, trying to contain an increasingly dangerous and out-of-control wildfire.
I feel the heat on my face.
The flames burning near several roads in the area. Thick black smoke billowing from Ocean County, New Jersey. The state's Forest Fire Service deploying air tankers and helicopters over a large wildlife management area to help fight the flames from above.
The south flank is really picking up,
while issuing both voluntary and mandatory evacuations.
Your family can't even get to you because they can't get here.
3,000 people told to evacuate in Ocean and Lacey townships, with flames threatening some 1,300 plus structures. At this point, more than 25,000 people in the area still don't have electricity after officials turned off the power to keep fire crews safe.
Oh my God, this place is going to be torched.
The evacuations triggered after the flames quickly began to spread, driven by wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour.
Someone posted on Facebook that they need help evacuating their horses.
Neighbors helping to move animals from a nearby farm to safety.
These winds are not helping us today, and the fires are unpredictable, and when you have large animals, it makes it really scary.
The cause of the fire still under investigation. At one point, a 17-mile stretch of the Garden State Parkway was shut down, causing a major traffic nightmare.
I've been stuck in traffic for 3 hours.
But this morning, New Jersey State Police confirming that both the Garden State Parkway and a state route near the fire zone have both reopened. Officials in the area urging residents to heed evacuation warnings.
It could be the difference between life and death.
Now, Stephen, even though you still see plenty of smoke out here, including right behind me over this wildlife management area, the conditions have significantly improved, especially as it concerns wind speeds. We mentioned yesterday 20-25 mile an hour gusts. It is very still at the moment. Certainly that's going to help firefighters in their quest to control the flames. And we are also expecting an update from the fire service coming up here in the next several hours. Let me send it back to you.
Hopefully good news there. Sam Brock, thank you. All right, to your morning news now, weather now. Meteorologist Angie Lassman has more on these warmer temperatures we're expecting, Angie.
Warmer temperatures indeed. And of course, all of that kind of played into what happened yesterday with that fire that Sam was just talking about, Stephen. We do, as Sam mentioned, notice that the winds are down. They're about 5 to 10 miles per hour today. So a big decrease in those wind speeds, of course, helpful for firefighters. Right now, our humidity level's at 57%, and that's going to continue to drop as the day goes on. So we've still, need a little bit of rain across this region. Unfortunately, we're not going to get it to help the firefighters out there, but we will continue to see those wind speeds be on the lower end compared to what they were yesterday. And the temperatures, big picture-wise, they are warm, to say the least. 10, 15, even close to 20 degrees warmer than normal in some spots across the country, including the Great Lakes, stretching down to the Tennessee and Ohio valleys and out east. 77 in New York today, 82 in Memphis, 70 in Denver. Across the board, it just looks really nice. I mean, spring-like temperatures in place, and in some spots feeling a little more like early summer. We've got 85 on tap for Jackson tomorrow, low 70s for Cleveland, 72 for New York City, and upper 70s for Roanoke. So overall, really kind of mild air that has settled in today and tomorrow and sticks with us in a lot of spots here, even as we get into the weekend. Little Rock tops out at 83 on Friday. We head to the low 80s by Saturday, and then we're right back into those mid 80s by the time Sunday rolls around. Same kind of roller coaster ride, or a little roller coaster ride that we get across parts of the Midwest. We go to the upper 70s and upper 60s, and then back to the 70s by Sunday. And notice across the Northeast, temperatures topping out into the upper 70s on Friday, and then dipping back down to those mid 60s by the time Sunday rolls around. Meanwhile, across parts of Florida, specifically Tallahassee, it's the upper 80s, it's the low 90s that you're going to get as you head into the weekend. So there's that summer-like feel. That'll be in place across the Gulf Coast as well. And it may feel like summer in some spots, but spring is really doing its thing when it comes to those strong storms. We've got those again in the picture this afternoon across parts of the middle of the country. So specifically Kansas to Texas, parts of Oklahoma, New Mexico included in this. Large hail, strong winds, those are the two things that we're looking for to have the greatest potential as we get into the afternoon and evening hours tonight across that region. And then tomorrow, not quite as a robust forecast for severe storms, but still we could see some of those firing up right along that dry line. And again, the supercells are what we're watching for. On top of that, we're going to have a couple of days of rain ahead from that across that same region. That means rainfall 1 to 2 inches potentially, and we do have that flash flooding concern. Specifically, here's a look at today, but notice what happens when we head to tomorrow. It's really the Kansas City, Wichita, Oklahoma City area and Springfield that have the potential for a slight risk of flash flooding. So we'll watch for that. Heads up there. Big picture look for your Friday, sunny and hot for a sliver of the East Coast. And then it's that flood risk from the Great Lakes down to the southern plains. We'll see a fire risk across parts of the Southwest, so we'll keep a close eye on that. And then unfortunately, the Northeast, not such a great day on Saturday. There is plenty of sunshine, though, for parts of the Great Lakes. Even if you want to head to Florida, we'll see a lot of sunshine there. And then we'll see some more sunshine back in the picture for this area, for you, by the time Sunday rolls around.
For me personally.
Yes, I'm so worried about if you're happy with the forecast.
I'm really trying not to complain. It's just on the tip of my tongue about that Saturday forecast. But I'll keep it to myself.
I can't do everything.
I know. You do a lot. You do enough. Angie Lastman, thank you.
You got it.
Much more to come on this hour of Morning News Now, including some big changes that are coming to the Oscars and the confusion one new rule is sparking online. But first, after the break, a murder trial redo turned global true crime obsession. The fiery courtroom drama as witness testimony in the trial of accused killer Karen Reed picks back up today. That's coming up next. Welcome back. Today, witness testimony is set to continue in the second murder trial of Karen Reed. Reed is accused of killing her boyfriend, a Boston police officer, by running him down with her SUV. Her defense team says she's being framed. NBC's Laura Jarrett has more.
Hey there, look no further than opening statements from the lawyers to show us once again why this case has become the subject of so much fascination. The defense casting Reed as an outsider, wrongly accused, while the prosecution says Karen Reed knows exactly what happened that night, and now they have her own words to prove it.
We don't like reruns.
Yeah. Karen Reed expected back in court this morning with more prosecution witnesses set to take the stand.
The first thing she said was, Carrie, John's dead.
This after dueling opening statements. The state again accusing Reed of ramming her boyfriend, a Boston police officer, with her SUV and then fleeing the scene in 2022.
She clipped John O'Keefe. He fell backwards, hit his head, broke his skull. She knew he was there, but she did not call 911. She did not go back.
Reed's first trial ended with a deadlocked jury, but prosecutors still say the facts, science, and data will show she's guilty of second-degree murder. A paramedic who previously testified at the first trial telling the jury Tuesday, Reed admitted what happened to John O'Keefe.
What did she say to you?
I hit him.
The state also highlighting parts of recent interviews Reed did after her first trial.
Didn't I say could I have hit him? Or was it told to me that I said I hit him?
But the defense says that Reed did not hit O'Keefe.
There was no collision. She's the victim of a botched and biased and corrupted investigation that was never about the truth, folks.
Arguing instead, law enforcement officials have tried to frame her for something they did after O'Keefe died at a fellow police officer's home.
O'Keefe was injured someplace warmer, and he was moved. That alone is reasonable doubt.
No one else has been charged with O'Keefe's death, but the case has prompted a range of strong opinions and theories.
Every other minute, a new piece of evidence comes out that makes you think she's guilty or makes you think she's not guilty.
The 45-year-old former financial analyst turning into something of a folk hero to supporters who believe she was set up.
I'm out here to show her support.
The judge urging the jury to ignore the frenzy surrounding the case.
This trial will be decided by you, an independent jury.
The continued testimony of Carrie Roberts is expected later this morning. She is one of the witnesses who actually discovered John O'Keefe's body with Karen Reed. Back to you.
Laura, thanks. Let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Danny Ceballos for more on this case. Interesting stuff here, Danny. This last trial ended with a deadlocked jury. So what are the defense and prosecution looking to do differently this time around?
Well, this time around, the defense has changed its strategy a little bit. Now they are focusing almost entirely, at least according to their opening statement, on blaming the lead investigator, the state trooper who headed up the investigation of the crime and was eventually disciplined and fired for his conduct on this case. And this is a real benefit to the defense, because in every case you have a lead investigator or a case agent, and if you can destroy his credibility, and his credibility is in shambles now, then that will seriously wound the prosecution's case. They didn't have that the first time around, although they skewered him on the stand on cross-examination. Now he's been since fired, and you can see from the opening statement that the defense is now focusing their attention primarily on the lead investigator.
A big difference from the first trial. Karen Read did not take the stand during that first trial, though, but she has been very public in talking about this case. Is there anything that we saw in opening statements that suggests she may take the stand this time?
I don't think she will. And here's why. She didn't the first time around. And since then, she has been talking to media. And I don't know, but I believe the defense's strategy is to let her speak to the media in a controlled environment where she can control what she says, instead of being in what we call the crucible of cross-examination, where even people who might have a good and truthful story to tell really run a lot of risk. They have a good defense case. In fact, I'm going to say this. I believe that Karen Read may be not guilty, but that does not mean she's innocent. There's a big difference. And if she's acquitted, it will not be because of anything Karen Read did or didn't do. It will be because of the amazing work her defense team has done in coming up with this alternate theory of the case. It is really impressive. So they've already done a good job developing this alternate theory. They don't really need Karen Read to take the stand, in my view, and say, I didn't do this.
Fascinating. And in light of these media appearances and all this information we've received from her, what can they do to protect the jury from maybe being swayed by all that they've had? There are people outside with signs declaring her innocence. How can the jury be protected from being swayed here?
This is always an issue in high-profile cases. And while the Supreme Court has announced a standard that if a case becomes like a circus-like atmosphere, it might deny the defendant the right to a fair trial. But really, in theory, there's one thing. In practice, you really can't have a thing where a trial is so high profile that you can't try the defendant. So the trial's going to go forward. And look, in the United States, we've tried former presidents of the United States in criminal trials. So if you can handle that high profile a trial, then the jury should be expected to handle something like this, which, by the way, is an infamous high profile trial. And yes, there are people standing outside with signs and making noise, and that's always a concern with a high profile trial. But through jury selection, you hope that you weed out all of the outside influence.
All right. Well, we'll be paying attention to that one and counting on your expertise to help us understand this all. Danny Ceballos, thanks so much. Well, Indian police are blaming militants for an attack on a popular tourist destination in Kashmir that killed more than 24 people. NBC's Matt Bodner joins us with that and other world headlines. Matt, good morning.
Stephen, good morning. At least 26 people are dead in an attack by gunmen in the Indian-administered region of Kashmir. This region has been at the center of decades of tension between India and neighboring Pakistan. The victims of the shooting were domestic tourists visiting a popular beauty spot in the Himalayas. Local officials say this was the largest such attack in recent years, and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi cut short a visit to Saudi Arabia. He has pledged to bring those responsible to justice, but no one has yet claimed responsibility. That said, there has been an insurgency operating in Kashmir since the late 80s, fighting for independence from Indian rule. Around 500,000 Indian troops are permanently deployed in Kashmir. Moving along now to the war in Gaza. Israeli strikes on the Gaza Strip yesterday killed at least 17 Palestinians, most of whom were women and children, according to local officials. They also destroyed bulldozers and other heavy equipment that had been given to the Palestinians to help clear the rubble. The strikes came as Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu held a phone call with President Trump. Writing on Truth Social, Trump said that the two were, quote, on the same side of every issue. And we'll wrap up this hour in Costa Rica, where the Poas volcano suddenly erupted on Monday. This volcano is actually one of Costa Rica's most popular tourist destinations. Costa Rica's Seismological Observatory says that the volcano spewed a column of ash almost 2 miles into the sky. Monday's eruption, according to local officials, has blanketed communities across Costa Rica's Central Valley in ash. There are signs that further eruptions may be coming. Stephen?
Wow, an incredible time lapse we're seeing there. Matt Bodner, thanks so much. Well, coming up, some big changes are on the way for Americans with student loans. If you haven't paid since the pandemic, the Trump administration is about to crack down on collections. We'll explain after this. Back now with a major update that could hit millions of Americans where it hurts most, their wallets. The Trump administration says it is restarting student loan collections next month, targeting borrowers who've been in default since the pandemic. That means if you haven't made payments, you could soon see your wages, tax refunds, or even pension checks garnished starting May 5th. NBC News correspondent Ryan Chandler has the details.
Millions of Americans falling behind on their student loans, bracing for their wallets to take a hit.
The government can and will collect defaulted federal student loan debt by withholding money from borrowers, tax refunds, federal pensions, and even their wages.
The Department of Education announcing Monday it will start collecting on defaulted student loans on May 5th for the first time since the pandemic.
There have been no repayments since March of 2020. It is not fair that other people are having to assume this burden that other taxpayers are paying for these loans.
According to the Department of Education, almost 43 million borrowers owe more than $1.6 trillion in student loans. Of those, 62% are not currently paying them back. That can be due to several reasons. Some of those borrowers are in forbearance or deferment, meaning their loans are on pause. They could be in a 6-month grace period or still in school, or they fall into a final category: delinquency or default. 5 million borrowers are in default, meaning they haven't made a payment in more than 9 months. And another 4 million are in late-stage delinquency, meaning they haven't paid in 3 to 6 months and could soon default. The White House says their bill is coming due.
We must get our fiscal house in order and restore common sense to our country. If you take out a loan, you have to pay it back. It's very simple. President Trump will not kick the can down the road anymore.
Borrowers who remain in default may also eventually have their wages garnished, meaning employers will automatically withhold part of their paycheck to pay off the student loans.
What's your best advice to college graduates who have defaulted on their loans and know they now need to start paying again on May 5th?
Well, the first thing you should do is talk to your loan servicer or the collection agency that has contacted you to explore your options. Look into loan rehabilitation, which will restore your loans to a current status and avoid all the negative consequences of defaulting on your student loans.
Even college grads who aren't in default are feeling overwhelmed.
I felt like a weight was just sitting on my chest.
Florida nurse Samaya Camillo has over $90,000 in student loan debt, about half of that from federal loans. She says her generation is split on how to handle their debt, but so much of their future depends on paying it.
I've definitely gotten a lot of comments, people telling me to file bankruptcy, just don't pay them, or, oh, I don't pay them. And I've responded to a lot of them saying that I don't agree with that. And that's definitely something I will never do. A lot of what you need in life requires a credit score, and a good one at that.
Ryan Chandler reporting there. Well, more changes to tell you about, this time in the role grandparents are playing in the U.S. As childcare gets more and more expensive, younger adults with children are asking for their parents' help, in particular their mom's help, more now than ever before. In fact, a 2022 survey revealed that nearly 60% of grandmothers provided some form of care for their grandkids. But some experts warn that too much responsibility sharing between parents and grandparents could end up hurting their relationships. So for more on this, let's bring in Faith Hill. She's a staff writer at The Atlantic who's covering this trend, and clinical psychologist Dr. Jennifer Hartstein. Thank you both for joining us this morning. Fascinating stuff here, Faith. Let's start with you. You recently wrote this article about how grandparents' roles in their grandkids' lives are changing. Walk us through the takeaways that you have from this research.
Yeah, absolutely. So in recent years, there have been some changes. There are increasing numbers of single parents in the U.S. And of working mothers of young kids. And childcare services just keep getting more and more expensive. But U.S. federal policy still doesn't guarantee paid parental leave or paid sick leave. So parents are just really struggling, and they're turning to their own parents out of necessity.
A lot of that necessity as well. Dr. Hartstein, let's bring you in here. So if parents are in a tough position where they need to ask for the grandparents to help out, maybe even more than once a week, how should they go about having this conversation?
You know, I think this is not a new phenomenon, but it's something that's just so much more in our faces. And some of these conversations are so hard. There's potential shame in having to ask for the help. There's challenge. There's wanting to respect your parents' time and space. And I think in these moments, you know, honesty, Stephen, is the best policy. And we've got to be clear about what our needs are and ask and also respect the boundaries that your parents might have in coming in and helping you out as a grandparent to your child, right? So we have to do some negotiation, have some honest conversation, and see what's possible.
Good advice. Faith, I'm curious, speaking to these grandparents themselves, what is something that maybe surprised you about what they had to say about this?
Yeah, well, I mean, frankly, I was just surprised that grandparents were doing so much in the first place. I think there's kind of a narrative these days about grandparents today not being very involved and kind of, you know, boomers who are off traveling and having a good time. But I think that perception exists because there is just so much need. And so, you know, there's a kind of an idea that grandparents were always very involved throughout history, and that families often all live together and we're kind of around the clock caring for each other. But in fact, that's not the historical norm. And I think people don't realize that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. There is sort of like a common understanding that grandparents, especially in the baby boomer generation, are not as involved as they used to be. That conventional wisdom doesn't seem to be panning out from your reporting. And Dr. Hartstein, I'm curious, for these grandparents who are dealing with this, you mentioned the importance of setting boundaries. How can they do that? I know just the grandparents in my own family, it can be difficult to tell your kids and your grandkids no.
It is very hard. And I think that's hard across the board in anything that we get asked to do, especially kind of for grandmothers, right? And I think it's really important for them to be able to say, hey, I can offer you these things, and really maintain that boundary, but do things that they enjoy in those times. Can they spend time with friends? Can they give back to themselves, right? An empty battery is an empty battery. And as we get older, our battery life is shorter. So you have to give back to yourself and do those things. And if you're getting all of the good stuff from being with your grandchildren, great. But if you're not, negotiate that, figure out what you need to do. No is a full sentence, and it is okay to say.
I love that. An important conversation to have, and it's important to actually have the conversations and just assuming the other party knows what you're going through. Faith Hill, Dr. Jen Hartstein, thanks so much for breaking this down for us this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, Hollywood is buzzing this morning over some new rules that are hitting the Oscars, with one big change that's causing a really big stir online. We'll explain that one to you coming up next. We're back now with financial headlines. Intel reportedly planning major new cuts to its workforce. CNBC's Silvana Hnaut joins us with that and more money news. Silvana, good morning.
Hey, Stephen, good morning to you. Yes, so Intel is reportedly planning to announce it will cut more than 20% of its workforce this week. This would be the first major restructuring under the chip maker's new CEO. Bloomberg says the layoffs would affect about 22,000 workers after Intel announced last year it would cut 15,000 employees. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers Discovery joins the crowd in cracking down on password sharing. Max is launching a new feature, and it's called Extra Member Add-on. So similar to Netflix, it allows users to add an extra person who doesn't live in the same household to their plan for $7.99 a month. It is limited for now to just one add-on profile per person, per subscription. All right, well, the most expensive home in Manhattan is on the market, a 4-floor penthouse at 111 West 57th Street on top of the famous Steinway building is being listed for $110 million. At more than 11,000 square feet, it has 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, multiple lounges, and a 618-foot terrace with views of Central Park and both the Hudson and the East Rivers. Now, it did go on sale during one of the most turbulent weeks on Wall Street earlier this month, but the real estate broker says the market's moves aren't rattling her target high-end buyers.
Wow. Silvana, I looked at that, but I really just need a bigger ballroom in my place. So that one's
of course, we all need a bigger ballroom in our place.
It's incredible pictures there. All right, Silvana, thanks so much.
You got it.
Well, the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences making some changes to the Oscars that are getting a lot of attention. On Monday, they announced new rules about AI and refugee filmmakers. But perhaps the biggest update is that Academy members must now confirm that they have watched all nominated films in a category before they can vote. And that has some fans who thought that was already a rule speaking out about this one. For more, let's bring in entertainment journalist and pop culture expert Brian Balthazar, who joins me now with these details. A lot of people talking about this one, Brian. So let's start with AI, one of those key issues, those lengthy Hollywood strikes that we saw, and artificial intelligence use in The Brutalist and Emilia Perez affecting their campaign. So what is this new rule, and what reaction are you hearing?
Well, basically, it's now saying that they're allowing the use of AI, which you just referred to two examples. They're going to say that they're going to take into account the degree to which a human was at the heart of the creative authorship when choosing whether a movie should be receive an award. Well, that's interesting, but it's really still in the hands of the voters. I think this is leaving it open to voters to kind of think about how much they take AI seriously and how much they want to let it in. But let me be clear, this has been going on since the beginning of filmmaking: innovation, controversy, and then adaptation. For example, the Jazz Singer was the first sound film, came out in 1927. Technically, it would have been eligible in the timeline to be a nominee for the first Academy Awards in 1929. It was deemed ineligible because it was deemed unfair to the silent films. So we're seeing this even now, motion capture performances like Planet of the Apes, Andy Serkis's performance. He was in a 4-year consideration ad to be nominated. People are still not adopting all of these things fully when they reach that ballot, but they're saying they're leaving the door open because this is inevitable. Technology happens and it's inescapable.
A historical perspective as well. You can count on Brian for everything. I also want to talk to you about this one. I saw so many posts saying, how is this not already a rule that the judges have to watch all the films in that category? It seems pretty fair. How is that being received, and how are they going to verify that they've actually watched these films?
It's really outrageous, right? Okay, so basically there is a portal in which Academy voters can watch these films on this site, and watching it on the portal can determine, it can check off that mark, but it still doesn't stop people from pressing play and walking away. They can also, if they want to see it in a theater or have seen it somewhere outside of the Academy portal, they can fill out a form that says they did so. This has been a long-running problem, though, in all kind of nomination. Emmys, they're supposed to watch all of them. But again, it's impossible to truly track. The Tonys, they're supposed to watch all of them. It's incredible that they have to write this language, but it needs to be done, and it's outrageous to me that it really isn't implied and understood and written down in those rules until now.
Yeah, that it's not actually in writing is pretty hard to grapple with. Yeah. Brian, I understand there are also some changes for how nominations are accepted for Best International Film category, and that has to do with situations where directors maybe had to flee their own countries for different reasons. What should we know about this?
Right. Well, this is a really interesting story because it is helping these people who've gone into exile. Because take, for example, the Iranian filmmaker who had to flee Iran because he was escaping 8 years in prison for the movie. It was called The Seed of the Sacred Fig, and it was about life in Iran. And Iran is not playing when they see films or any kind of artistic creation that criticizes government. And so he fled to Germany. And the new rule will allow any country can nominate a film as long as the creator is from in asylum in that country. So that Germany actually submitted that film for Oscar consideration. So it gives people who are creating pretty powerful films an opportunity, an entry point into getting an Academy Award.
An important change there, but got a lot less attention than that. Yeah. You have to watch the movie bit. Brian Balthazar, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Well, this morning, we're taking a closer look at a first-of-its-kind race in Beijing. It's being dubbed the world's first humanoid robot half marathon, featuring man versus machine. The race kicked off this weekend with nearly 24 robots involved. NBC's Janice Mackey-Freyer was at the finish line.
In the race to develop robots that are smarter and faster, a test of sorts, pitting 12,000 runners beside 21 humanoids along a 13-mile course billed as the world's first half marathon starring machines.
Unlike the human runners here, the robots have a choice. They can have their batteries changed or just lie down.
While many of the human counterparts stopped to take selfies, the robots trailed from the outset. Some of them barely got started. One with propellers went out of control. Others fell apart, laying bare the challenges that still confront the industry here. That more than 20 robot companies participated shows that robot tech in China is pushing forward quickly, said the team leader for the winning humanoid. Tiangong finished in 2 hours, 40 minutes after 3 battery changes and 1 fall. We met Tiangong before the race.
He's saying hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Yeah.
In a demonstration of what the company calls embodied intelligence that plants smarter AI into a more durable body with legs that function like human limbs over varied terrain. Next generations can look more lifelike with silicone skin, hair, and facial expressions.
What's your name?
The idea for humanoids to do jobs ranging from manufacturing and home repairs to companionship and caring for the elderly.
For a lot of people, this might be freaky. How do you get humans to accept robots as a fact of life?
We want robots to feel more real, says Wei Jiaxing, so people feel more comfortable around them. There's been a huge push behind humanoid robots in China. Videos of them dancing, performing, or doing kung fu have gone viral on social media here. China's government and state media promoting the industry as the next big thing, like the campaign behind Chinese electric vehicles. In this race, designers were urged to get creative. They screwed on sneakers and tracksuits or took off heads and fingers to minimize weight and overheating.
The CEO says it's not about winning. It's about testing the batteries, which are the core technology here.
Seeing them up close is way different than seeing them on TV, says this runner of the only half marathon where the also-rans got all the attention. At 74, these new things can open my eyes, she says. Ultimately, only 6 of the 21 competing robots survived, proving perhaps that people haven't completely lost to technology quite yet. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
If one of those was behind me, you would never see me run faster. But fascinating stuff. Janice, thanks for that. Coming up, from racket to paddle, after the break, the tennis superstar who is returning to the court right here in America, though it might look a little bit different from those years you remember. We'll explain coming up. All right, we end this hour with one of the all-time tennis greats trading in his racket for a paddle. Andre Agassi, the former #1 ranked tennis player in the world, is announcing he's returning to the courts to play in the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda is waiting for this one to tell us about the pickleball craze.
Stephen, you're going to be able to hear me from a mile away in this building today because I brought this with me. Look, millions of people are playing pickleball, and it is the most popular sport right now, as now people are trading in their racket for their paddle, including tennis greats like Andre Agassi.
Famous for his aggressive swing and wild style, tennis legend Andre Agassi is returning to the court, though a different kind. The 54-year-old announcing he'll compete in his first professional pickleball tournament next week, teaming up with the top-ranked player in the world, Annalie Waters, who says she scouted Agassi on YouTube.
I was the one who asked Andre to play. Both of our goals are to really help grow the sport.
Agassi jokingly telling CNBC,
"She's probably sick of winning so much, and that's why she called me."
It's no secret that pickleball's popularity has popped off, with their own Today Show team giving it a shot.
Good one. That was a good one.
New numbers show the sport has grown more than 300% in recent years, something pickleball coach Andy Peak has witnessed.
Just how much has that interest exploded?
It's just like a tsunami. It just kept growing and growing and growing. When you get big names in the arena, you get a lot of eyes on the court and eyes on pickleball.
Pickleball has drawn celebrity investors like Drew Brees and LeBron James and famous players. And for the most successful, the sport is paying off big time. The United Pickleball Association says the average pro salary without sponsorships is higher than WNBA stars.
I'm playing against professional players, so cut me some slack.
But if you're like me and just getting started, Peak says it's a pretty simple game.
Hit the ball over the net and in the court.
Still, it'll take far more to topple this dynamic duo with a pro debut that could be a smash for the sport.
We're very intense, like, on the court, but I told Andre, I'm like, we also need to make sure we're, like, laughing and having fun because that's what pickleball is all about.
And pickleball's time in the spotlight is just beginning. The sport is set to take center stage in a comedy called The Dink later this year. That soft pass. The movie follows a washed-up tennis pro who tries to save a club through the sport with Ben Stiller serving up his spin on Pickleball Mania. You know, if it's anything like dodgeball, it's just going to be.
I was thinking of dodgeball immediately when you said that.
You know what I think about when it comes to pickleball? Like, when was the last time we had millions of people of all ages, all backgrounds, picking up the same sport every year? Like, it's such a rapid rate of people learning. It's so fun.
An explosion in growth.
Yeah.
Fascinating. And these are yours from home.
Yeah,
so
we're going to do some passing after this.
You got it. And that's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now. But your news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.